15th September. I'm going to do a little update from the back garden, bit of harvesting. It might be done in a few videos because there's quite a lot to do. Obviously, just harvesting things. Because back off my holidays now, and it's surprising, when you've had sort of a couple of weeks away from things, how things can get a bit overwhelming, and you just got to get on and get caught back up again. So I've strung me garlic, but I've not strung my onions yet, so I'm just doing the same. So when I get round to doing that, you just get to do the same for the garlic as you do for the onions, really. Which if you're ready to do them, I've got a video in my playlist from last year, which I'll probably put in my description below, so just in case you've got yours and you want to do them now. But I will be doing a bit of a video on stringing them again this year. So in this video, I'm going to get the old spuds in the tubs, get all them tipped out. So I've got my Pentland crowns and my Orla, which I cut all the tops off a few weeks ago now. And then my big carrots, which are in the box behind me there. I've pulled one. Well, I pulled a couple actually. I pulled one a few weeks ago just to see, and that was a bit rubbish. But what I pulled the other day wasn't too bad. So we'll have a look at that anyway. But obviously pulling the rest of them. So I'll have a quick look round so you can see where we're up to. Right, we'll start up in the cucumber house. So everything's still going strong in here. Plenty of cucumbers dangling from there, some down there. Peppers, I took all the peppers off and I've got some more that have come through. They were fairly dried out then, but they're still going. Lettuce, I picked all that before I went away and it's come back. It's just a bit limp because of the heat, so I'll probably pick some of that tomorrow morning when it's perked up a bit. That's the romaine lettuce, that's all okay. The rocket's getting ready for a pick. That's the chicory, the radicchio. That's got a while to heart up yet, unless I take it out of leaves. I think I've still got some sweet corn to pick from over there. Brussels sprouts, I need to start taking some foliage off now, the lower ones, just keep the stems clean. There's a couple of broccoli plants in there as well that are probably not far off. And here I've got some more romaine and the other spring greens. Leeks, don't know how you can make out, but there's the odd one that has gone to seed, so they can stay in the ground for a little while. Celery, some of that's been going to seed, but I start harvesting that now. This is why I'm pulling the big carrots, and I'll be pulling some celery because I'm going to start making my tomato sauce, which I did a recipe for last year. So I'll put that in the description as well, so you can have a look back what I do with all my tomatoes, because I've got a load of it sort of all blitzed up in the freezer. So I'm just waiting for the rest of the ingredients to come ready, then I can actually make the mix then. Beans, still getting beans off all of them, and I'll probably start killing some of the bean plants off now because I've got more than I need, so I might just have a couple of plants still going just to tickle some fresh stuff over. But obviously big carrots, I've pulled a few out, but I don't know what they're going to be like, but I've had some good and some bad. The cabbage whites are still out, looking for something to lay eggs on. But so I've got the Pentland crowns, which are over there. So I covered them with straw, a bit more straw, and I took the tops off because obviously they're blighted, and the squirrel keeps coming and having a little dig at them. I've also got these tubs to tip out. There won't be much in these. These were when I did the Swift reveal. I ended up just putting some Duke Yorks in. Onions are all on here. I've cut all the tops off now, just left about like 3 or 4 inch, stood them up just to let them dry off a bit. What else we got? Kane having a romps about in the garden, that sun's out. Got all this ready for doing the potato reveal here. I'm looking at polytunnel. I've stopped watering my tomatoes now. I'm just going to let them finish off, and then I can kind of like get sorted out. I'm not putting anything in here for over winter, I don't think. Peppers are still going. I've got some, I don't know if you can see, but over there I've got some chilies. Well, the Apaches in the basket of fire I've pulled off, and they're in a tray just drying out there, so which I'll make into a powder later in the year when they're really dry. Sunflowers, there's that one there. I mean, this is just like the old flower buds. And what I mean, old seeds behind. So I'll take some seed for the Titans next year. Nothing spectacular this year, Titans, but I just do it for a bit of fun. I mean, that adds a fair bit of weight in that, and there's some over there. I've not been down to the allotment, so I need to go down there. These carrots, for some reason, the tops have kind of vanished, but there's carrots still to use. Big onions are still on there going mouldy, but I'll just take the good stuff off it, and that'll go in the sauce. Strawberry runners, potted on before I went away to try and get them going. And these are some potatoes that have missed the blight, but obviously the blight can still be about. I think they're Duke Yorks, and that one's a Rocket. That's the strawberry thing from the compost. Courgettes have been moved up here. Cut all the mildewy leaves off a while ago, and they've kind of refired a bit at the top, so a few bonus courgettes. Cobra beans, still going mad. You know, that's the only thing I've done since I've been back. I've strung my garlic and I've picked all the beans, and they've all been blanched. Come down here, some parsley and some basil, some more Rocket. That's a mixture of some more spring greens and some Mizuna, which is for Kane. That's the big carrot there, so I mean it's not monstrous, it's probably about 3.5 foot long. I've just wrapped it in damp kitchen roll, stop it going all limp. But, through here, just close this door, and then we've got the big string of garlic. There's 78 bulbs on there, so they're all strong. Like I say, do them same as my onions, which we'll have a look at at a later date. Right, I'll get with the potato reveal now. Right, I'm going to start with the Pentland crowns. Just going to take the straw off the top. Still a few roots poking through the bottom, so they did root into the soil, which is a bit reassuring because I actually struggle with the water inside of these this year, to be honest. They could have done with more. But, so I've not grown Pentland crown for a few years. You know, I have done really well with them in the past. But, like I say, when I cut the tops off them, because they were blighted, I thought, right, I sprayed the top of the existing stuff with some of the blight spray just to kill any spores off, and I thought I'll put some more straw on top just to help prevent any spores landing on the potatoes at near surface, because there's a spud right there near the top. Looking quite promising on top, but actually you never know until you tip it out. These I think they're 30 or might be 35 litre pots, these. Yeah, some good sized spuds. So if these do alright, I've had a good year for potatoes. Considering the bad start I had, everything's sort of gone a bit better than expected. You know, so it's to the point now where anything that doesn't do well, I'm not bothered. You know, you can't always have it good. But you just don't know what the weather's going to do. Things are still growing now, the sun's out. You know, on this compost, I'll bag up any sort of surplus bits of straw. You know, obviously rot down in it through the winter. I'll either bag it up, put it in with me little garlics, and use it again for potatoes next year. Might sieve some out and use that for some seed compost. Because you don't need any sort of rich compost for seed compost. Remember, right, I did have a couple that didn't fire of these, so I actually had a couple of potatoes left over, and I remember I pushed them down inside it. But, there's quite a bit to do. So what actually ends up on this video, I'm not sure. I'll say I'll speed a lot of it up. Let's get that out of the way. That'll all go on compost heap. Oh, do something to kneel on, really. Little prayer mat. I'll just sling them all in these. I can weigh them in these after. Right, I'll start this one. Here we go. Ready to make one Pentland crowns. And then I drilled extra holes in the bottom. You know, they're all like 20mm holes then. and see what we've got. Up at the side, you know, they had a little bit of manure in the bottom. Yeah, some decent sized ones. Luckily, because it's not that wet. I mean, it's not bone dry. Oh, jackdaws are out making a noise. Well, one in particular, anyway. Yeah, they're good size, these. That one looks like it's had a bit of a rough time. You know, because sometimes you do get the snubs go down in the tubs. The top's going to look better. That one's a bit manky. Good to see though that the Ola just in them poly bags. They contain like 20 litres of compost. One seed potato, you know what I mean. Not a bad yield that, to be honest. Not massive. But I don't think you get the tubs the same, to be honest. They're all different. The old seed potato at the bottom there. That's sort of manky stuck to that. It's alright, it's just the remnants of seed potato stuck to it. Not scabby or anything, which is always a bonus. I'll just lay them out in the sun for a couple of hours, then dried. So, because I've had a couple of weeks with no tops on, we'll have formed a bit of a skin. Right, so I'll get on with the rest of these and speed this up. We'll time lapse it, and we'll have a bit of a weigh at the end of this one. Right, that's the last one for the Pentland crowns. So far they've been alright, I've no idea what weight there is. You know, I don't know what you kind of expect from main croppers. It varies so much, you know. I'll probably say anything between 5 to £10 per pot is fine. You know, considering you just put like 2 spuds about that sort of size in, and you get, you know, absolutely loads more back. Same as garlic really, you split a couple of bulbs open, you know, so you might use maybe 4 or 5 year old bulbs from the previous year, and it's just growth. So it is, you know, if you put very little in for quite a lot out, if it goes well. So there's a lot of compost there. I think this was, I can't remember, I know some of these were half mix of last year's and some fresh, I think, and a bit of my own, and the other was some wicks. I think the Ola are in the wicks compost, I think, or part wicks. I can't remember. I didn't pay much attention when I did this year. I just thought, well, I need to make some compost up and don't want to buy it all. Right, so let's sort some scales out and get this lot weighed. Right, I'm just going to weigh one of these tubs without string in it. See what it works out. 2.27 pounds, which is a kilo pretty much. And try and lash this together somehow. To make a little bit of a weighing strap. Yeah, that'll do. Off. Right, let's see what we've got. If it'll bleep. Wait for it to bleep. Come on. It's not bleeping, but it's reading 50.5 pound, which is 22.91 kilos. So I'll take 2 kilo off that. It's like 20.91, 21 kilos. It's like 48.5 pounds, something like that. Out of what, 9 tubs. So yeah, it's just over £5 a tub. It's alright, it's not great, but it's alright. You know, I think I've Pentlands before, I think I've had nearly £13 out of one of these tubs. Like I say, it just depends on the season. Some of the smaller ones might have grown a bit more, but nevertheless, I've got plenty of spuds. Right, so I'll clear this up and then I'll get my Ola up. Right, that's them all pulled out and straw taken off the top. They feel really light, so no idea what to expect. There's a few with like, you know, bulges on the side, but there is only one seed potato per polypot, and they're all about 20 litres, something like that. So what they like to get out, it might take a bit of ripping to get out, I don't know, but they're very light, you know. And there's got holes in the bottom, but there's hardly any roots. There's just a few roots that have come out. No, I don't know. It worked okay for first earlies. When I did some Swift in them, they were okay for that. They had 2 in each one, I remember rightly, and they worked out okay. But they're down there, they don't get quite as much sun early in the year. They only try. They only get, well, it's not horrendous. The other thing is, with the Pentland crowns, I remember rightly, I didn't chit them, because they came quite late. They were a last minute sort of like, oh, I'll do them up there. And these were a last minute, they got dumped down here. I don't think I chitted the Pentlands, they just kind of went straight in. So, got a rotten one there. Ooh. Don't know why I do that. See something rotten, smell it. Another one there. Oh no. could be blight that's got in. You know, because we were on these a little bit longer than the Pentlands. Because they're quite dense, so you get that humid environment, you see, when they're very dense foliage. You know, when everything's humid, you've got moisture in the air, which blight thrives, and there's a lot of wood lice in here. The compost just falls apart. Things are not all rotten, I don't mind. Oh, that one's rotten as well. Smaller ones, that could be down to chitting. You know, I think you put a potato in without the chits, it kind of knows what to do itself, I think. So I might next year, all main croppers, not chit them. Or chit half and not chit half, and just see if there's a comparison there. Trying to see if you get more uniform size rather than little ones knocking around. Because it's the little ones that are the volunteers. You know, which obviously could carry some sort of pest. But not great. It's all bonus stuff, this. But yeah, this is definitely the Wicks compost, this. It's a lot more fibrous. I suppose it depends where they were on the row. You know, obviously to that end, they get a lot more sun. That end is shaded most of the day. But, you know, it's only a little bed. What I mean, 2 foot by 12 foot, I think, or 2 foot by 10 foot. Or 2.5 foot, something. It's only, I can just fit 2 bags really tight together in it by 8, and I've got about 3 inches left at the end. My rake here, I'll keep pushing this compost out of the way, otherwise I'll end up sat on top of a bloody hill. And I'll get on with the rest of these. And then we'll have a way at the end. Whew, last one of these now. Not done too bad, but been quite a few that are rotten. Probably got about 9 or 10 that are rotten. I've had the odd one with not very many in, and yet some with decent amounts, so I don't know what to put that down to. All the same growing conditions apart from light levels, really. I mean, when the sun's high in the sky, you get it going across, but I think obviously the end up that side gets a good few hours less light, and some are a lot drier than others, so I'm wondering whether the ones didn't get as much light are a bit too wet, because some of them have been fairly, well, not soaking wet, but they have been wet. That could be just down to like the amount of pulp that's in a potato. There's plenty of compost here, so I might as well put it to use again next year. It's all mixed together. You know, because I've got enough compost for topping beds up, I think. I might sieve a bit through for carrots and whatnot. And then we'll see next year what I decide to do with it. I might put some of it in my tomato beds. They need topping up in a polytunnel. Right, let's get these weighed now. Try and find my string, what I did with it. Probably buried it under these bags. That's over there. It's probably just a little bit more, but then again there's a lot of smaller potatoes, so they take up a bit of space, if you know what I mean, where in there they're quite good solid chunks. Can't remember what that was, about 50.5 pound, wasn't it? Minus, then there was a tub to come off it. I did find one more spud when I was clearing up, but I'm not bothered about that. All zeroed up, yep. Be ready for a can of pop after this. Yeah. Come on, bleep. This is 56.3. That's got it £54. Take the tub off, whatever that works out in kilos. Thing won't lock on. Probably because it's quite heavy and you're shaking, it needs to be super still to lock on. So that's over £100 of spuds there. So I've got obviously still got the ones from the allotment. I've been using some of the main croppers because they're great for chips. I've still got a load of the Jazzies and the Charlottes and the Maris pears. Well, they're bleak now over there. So we kind of pop and we'll pull some of the big carrots. Right, I'm going to pull these carrots out now. This is the one I pulled out yesterday or the day before. It's got a bit floppy, but it's fine. And, I say there's a couple of other ones that I pulled out a couple of weeks ago just to see, but if they're all like that, I'll be chuffed. Not my biggest, but it's a big carrot. You know, and some of you'll think like, why are you pulling them all out? Because I'm going to use them all to make my tomato sauce. That's the main reason why I grow these, really. 2 foot square box, got about 12-16 in. And obviously when you're making a mass amount of, you know, talking probably 25-30 litres of sauce out of the tomatoes. So the big onions go in, obviously the carrot, and there'll be a load of celery. And that gets like sort of reduced down and then sieve through. Get all the seeds and pulp, you know, and then force the pulp through. and then I freeze that, and that's all bolognese or just general tomato sauce that you need. Right, so there'll be a mixture of successes and failures in here. Where the root flies got in, I don't know. I would last a few rotten tops on, but might be a bit of grunting and pushing and shoving here. Sometimes you can't grab them by the top and pull them, but you wait for a pop. Little pop there, so that one's come. Well, the variety of these are called Red Intermediate, and I get them from a company called Medwins of Anglesey. That's where I get them from. But that one's not, it's just probably a little bit of the tip that snapped off, but I mean that's going to be like nearly 3 foot long. You know, I suppose if I was sort of showing them, then you know they wouldn't be too bad, but I've never shown veg. There isn't really many shows near me. You know, a few people have said like, "Oh, you should show it," but I've never got around to it. I might do one day, but I just did it for a bit of fun. Same with the sweet candle. I pulled one of them, and that was okay. I didn't expect it to be, but it was all right. They're quite deep down the tops on these this year. Well, this one feels like it might be a tiny one. It's a bit thin around the top, but tops are all into weed. But it's still a long one. Because they're not the best tasting, these carrots, on their own, because they do have quite a bit of a core on them. By the way. You know, and you can chop it and freeze it as well. It's that time of year I can start clearing up now. This one's got quite a big top on it. You never know, you see, it might have like 2 legs as you go down. Oh, that came with a bit of a jolt then. That snapped that, it's got a big top on it. But yeah, plenty of bit of eating there. I could leave a few in, you know, but I don't know, I'll see. That's it, you pull all these up and then you've got to deal with it all within the next day or two. Oh. Not quite as big, but still a big good carrot. One here in corner, plenty of top on that. It's not always the case for me, and it's a good one though. It's got a bit of a knobbly bit on the side of it, so don't know. Might get a bit hot round that side, but see if it's up for coming. Oh, it's a bit stubborn, this one. With being in a corner, you can't really get your arm around it. Come on, you bugger. Here we go. Yeah, this is a chunky one. Nearly started to get some extra legs on it down at the bottom. So I haven't got a first idea about showing veg. But, there's another one with loads of top on it as well, in the corner. Compost for this, I think it was just, it was all spent compost, I think this. Can't remember. Oh, a bit easy to pull up, probably because it's so dry. This one feels quite broad. That might be another leg on this one. Oh yeah, sounds like quite a funky one this. I had another one that was a bit like this, a bit flat, right? It's all deformed and it come right at the end, so God knows what. Oh, that's right, it's like a bit of a weird face on that. The celly like the carrot. But still a fair chunk of that you can eat. This one quite a bit easier. You know, I'd be happy if they were like that, you know. They're nice. Plenty of carrot. Oh, might have a do it making carrot cake. Something I've never made before. Yeah, some weight of carrots here anyway. Yeah, I'll pull them all up, get them all out of the way, and then they're done with them. Can't even feel the top of this carrot, it's that far down. Oh, really dry, it come really easy that. Go for length of them. I just use these little offcuts of downspout to just help you know, stop the compost and sand mixing. Obviously it does now, not what you can do about that, but and sort of I usually try and skim the top off and then try and core some of it out. Look at that, it's magnificent, isn't it? It's like a whip. Yeah, if you want to have a go at doing these, just get yourself a box or a barrel, fill it up with a mixture of sharp sand and builder's sand and whatnot. Make sure you give it a bit of time to settle and flood it with water. Then it's all settled down, you know, and it's fairly topped up. Try and get your box as level as you can, so when you water it, it has an even sort of coverage, rather than like over onto one end. You might end up with carrots going a bit of a wonky angle. There's no bottom on this, so they need to sort of go into the soil really. And then it's mainly sharp sand in here. And when it's all settled, it's off the length of downspout. And just core your holes out, which is a bit of a workout. Don't try and do too much in one hit. And then get some sand and sieve it, so it's fairly fine. Fill your holes up. Shove a seed in, 1st of April. I usually shove about 4 or 5 in. And then after about 5 weeks or so, nip them back to the strongest one. And hopefully the snails leave them alone. So I've had a few there that have been quite pathetic, considering they've been in the ground the same of the time. Why? Right in this corner over here, it's a bit dark, but it might be genetics of it of a fail. Because obviously they're bred for that reason. You can't just get any carrot to do it. It has to have, obviously, if you're doing stump roots in this, your stump would only be so far down, then you'd end up with a long tap root. So your stump roots, you're okay with something about half this depth. But for the long ones, I think it's about 4 foot. It's just, I bought a sheet of sterling board, 18mm. It used to have an old plank one made of decking. I lined the insides with plastic this time on this. Trying to get a bit longer out of it. But it's full of woodlice. See the problem with this garden, it's absolutely full of woodlice, and they're not really friendly. You know, they do cause damage. But that's all the carrots, so I'll put them over down there so they'll fall over everything, and we'll have a look at everything. Right, that's it for this update. It's all laid out here. The wonky carrots and smaller ones I've left up there, I'll get them after. I'll use them up, or cane will eat them. Overall, not loads going on in the video, but you know, a good harvest to be honest. Can't rule that. Plenty of weight in carrot, plenty of weight in potatoes for what I need. You know, because I don't grow for, you know, loads of people, so it's just a house with 3 in. You know, and we try and get through it. But this year there is a lot to get through, but you know, it keeps coming, and you can't grumble. You know, because there are years where it's tough, and it was a tough start to the year, and it's come good this year, to be honest. And I've still got stuff in it, the plot, which I need to get up and check. So the next video, I'll probably start filming that tomorrow. There'll be some more harvesting from here, which will be stuff like, you know, lettuce and things like that, and generally a bit of a tidy up. And then to the plot see if the cauliflowers have blown. Hopefully, you know, I've got a feeling they might have done. You know, because it has been warm and hot, so I'm just hoping they've not blown. I'm not bothered if they got a bit damper, they're a bit discoloured. I'm not bothered. You know, I think there's 6 left to harvest. I'll just see how the broccoli's getting on. There'll be some side shoots to take, probably some beans, and then I can probably cut the bottoms on the beans and just let them die. Peas might have started podding, because the peas down the garden, which are from the same batch, they've got a couple of pods on. And I need to obviously start contemplating, you know, regarding the new beds, and see how other things are getting on, and then it sort of like starts shutting things down, like the sweet corn now, probably harvest the rest of the sweet corn and top that bed up and then shut that bed down, because there's nothing else going to go up to the plot this year that I'm aware of at the moment anyway. Maybe if anything some spring grains or something, but I've just no room to store anything. After what I've got up there, there'll be some cabbage to pick through winter. I've just no room to store, so you start shifting out the salad season soon. You start tucking into them sort of hearty winter warmer sort of roast dinners and things. So plenty of potatoes, plenty of veg for all that sort of stuff, so I can sort of feast up over the winter months and end up probably massive in size, and then come next spring I'll work it all off for digging all the work. But that's just the way it goes. At least it's all homegrown, it's all healthy. That's the main thing. So thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. See you now, bye bye.